This is some additional examples for learning outcome 9 involving the speed of light. So for example, calculate how far away the moon is when it takes light 1.28 seconds to reach there. So I'll go through the solution and then talk through it afterwards. So usual problem solving technique, I got the time from the question and I clarified it saying in the question calculate how far away, so it's asking me a distance, so I put D as question mark. And then what formula links these together? Well, that would be D equals VT, so I went over and wrote up the formula. But then I think I'm actually missing V. And if I go back to the question, it makes it clear that this is a question about light. And the speed of light never changes. It's always the exact same value, 3 times 10 to the power 8. So you're expected to know that and fill that in if needed in the example. So I then went back to my list of variables and wrote that V is equal to C, the symbol for the speed of light, which is 3 times 10 to the power 8. So now I could substitute D, I keep as D because that's what I'm being asked. V is 3 times 10 to the power 8 and T is 1.28. And then do that calculation and I get the distance. So I'm going to do one example. So you should have seen this experiment in class, how we actually measure the speed of light. And then that light is bounced off a mirror. So, standard problem solving technique. And so talking through that, the first thing I did was write down the distance, but remember the light has got to travel to the mirror and return. So that's why in this example I have to do 2 times 8 meters. I have to double that distance to the mirror to get 16 meters. The time is given there, 5.3 times 10 to the minus 8. and I'm being asked the speed of light. So I can't go and just fill in the value. I know it should be around about 3 times 10 to the 8. But in this case, I actually need to calculate it. The formula then is d equals vt. My substitution then for d is 16. V I leave as it is. And t is 5.3 times 10 to the minus 8. I then want to swap the sides. So take the left-hand side and move it to the right. Take the right-hand side and move it to the left. So that v that I'm trying to work out is on the left-hand side. Then I need to get v on its own. So I need to get rid of this times 5.3 times 10 to the minus 8. And I cancel that out by dividing by the same value. But whatever I do to one side of a formula, I must do to the other. So I have to divide the other side by that same. So the calculation I have to do is 16 divided by 5.3 times 10 to the minus 8. And that gives me the answer, 302 million meters per second, which is this experiment's value for the speed of light.